Alright, mate. If you try to dive into Japanese and you trying to learn all these Japanese writings, here is my tip: don't. Here is why. First, if you are from like the English-speaking backgrounds, the Japanese writing system is hard. As I mentioned in my previous video, Japanese employing three scripts like hiragana, katakana, and kanji. So it's like a three writing system, completely different. It's not even similar, okay? Completely different. So it's like three system, and of course, kanji. That's the character borrow from Chinese and modify this and change a little bit. So it's a completely new system. Others consist of thousands of characters. So it's like you are learning Chinese at the same time learning Japanese, and it's overwhelming. And each of the kanji have its own meanings and pronunciations, and the pronunciation need to use hiragana to mark all this pronunciation. So it's overwhelming. And I don't want this like a writing system to discourage you, to scare you into not learning it. But here's a trick. You must be familiar, if you learn and you can understand me, you must be familiar with the Roman alphabet. Okay? And in Japanese, we call that romaji. That's kind of like Roman alphabet. Using Roman alphabet to represent Japanese sounds. And this, I think, is that's the easiest way to help you to grasp the pronunciation and basic vocabulary without all this challenge, because you already know the Roman alphabet. And you can use your familiarity with English, but not familiar with Japanese. You use your advantage to tackle the difficult task. So, my suggestion is don't learn all these, say, gojuons, hiragana, katakana, kanji, all that. You do not need to learn that. You just need to know how to type and train your ear. You need to build the foundation like a baby. As I said multiple times, learn language is easy. Just to pretend you are a baby, okay? Baby learn things not through writing, but rather through listening and speaking, okay? You listen to that, and then you speak that. But we're not baby. We're grown up. So, say you watch some anime or some Japanese TV series, or read some Japanese news, listen to some Japanese news, in fact. You catch something, okay? Or you travel to Japan, you talk with Japanese, and you hear some of the words, you catch some words, but you do not know the meaning, but you know the sound. So the simple thing to do is to do the repetition, okay? You don't know the sounds, you can just ask. You don't know the meaning, you can just ask directly about the meaning. And here's the thing. You can, if you like nobody to ask around, you can just take out your phone, or like me, I'm standing in my room, so I can use computer to type like Roman alphabet, using English to sort of represent that sound. And then I can get that hiragana or katakana or kanji out using just Roman alphabet. Just type it, a wheel out, and I can get myself familiar with that output. And then at the same time, a lot of tools out there. You can use the typed thing to actually search on the internet and get the result. So you can actually sort of like a digital dictionary, you can look it up, but without all the hassle of learning all this writing system. Then after like building the foundation of listening and speaking, and all this typing of all these different sounds, so once you got this and get yourself familiar with all these outputs, because here is the thing, if you listen to that a lot, if you encounter all this a lot, you type a lot, you see that a lot, That's the frequent used words and expressions in that specific language. You don't need to like buy a book and like memorizing all this like travel Japanese, okay? Something like that, or like working business Japanese. You don't need to memorize that. You just go to that environment or try to immerse yourself in that environment. And if you don't know something, just look it up. Type it. Don't know, look it up, type it. And then get yourself familiar and you can get all these frequent use of words or expressions. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn writing like from start to finish, okay? You should learn writing, but after you got the basic foundation. And use this kind of, if I may, romanization, okay? Romanization of all this typing as an intermediate step. So you can then finally, painlessly, hopefully, learn Japanese.